This is going to be a story about the Lynch brothers. There were 3 of them, and if you didn't like one, try another, because the Lynch brother others found too sour or too sweet might be just to your taste. The Lynch brothers, the orphans Lynch. All of them had been made by dreams one way or another. They were handsome devils, down to the last one.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stephanie. This video is going to be a reading vlog of me rereading Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater, the first book in the Dreamer trilogy, and it's in preparation for the release of Mr. Impossible, which comes out on the 18th of May. Yes, this is going to be a reread for me because I read this book before, but I hope you enjoy. And if you haven't watched my reading vlog of me rereading The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, you should go watch that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hi vlog. Today is Monday, the 17th, and I'm just home from school. So I have a bit of study to do and another few bits to do before I can read. But yeah, I just wanted to check in. I will update you all when it's time for me to read. Hello, I am back. It's been honestly a good few hours since. I don't really know what I've done with those like 3 hours. I did do some study, which you've probably seen, and I did some editing on this video, but mostly I don't know what I did, but I just made a cup of tea. I hope you like my cup. There's all the princesses on it. We love her. Anyway, I'm gonna start reading now. One thing I want to say is I don't think this video is going to have as much updates as the Raven King vlog. That vlog was quite long and I had a lot to say because it is one of my favorite books. Call Down the Hawk, even though I do love it very much, I have only read it once and I haven't annotated it either, so I probably won't have as much thoughts as I did for the Raven King, but I will still share any thoughts I do have. Also, quite exciting, I'm gonna put my tea down because I'm going to spill it and it's boiling. I actually haven't read Call Down the Hawk physically before. I read it like I read All the Raven Cycle on my iPad, and I only just bought this copy in February of this year, I think. So I haven't read it physically yet, so that's exciting. I didn't really read much at all last night. I got to read the prologue and then I started falling asleep, so the prologue is very good though. I love it a lot. Anyways, I'm gonna read, so Okay, so I'm on page 16 and not much has happened. Basically what's happening is Ronan and Declan and Matthew are all going on a road trip to Cambridge because that's where Adam goes to school. Ronan is looking for places there because he wants to move, because he's bored of the Barnes, but he's not, but also he kind of just misses Adam. And I'm just gonna read out a little bit. First off, I just want to say I just love all the banter between, well, not even the banter, but just the entire dialogue between all of the Lynch brothers is just always so funny, and I love it. It says, Adam Parish was the destination of this road trip. Is there any version of you that could come with me to Cambridge? Adam had asked the day he left. Adam, Ronan missed him like a lung. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, I literally just ended that video, but I just want to read out this because... Oh. Wow. It says, Ronan put his jacket over his head to drown out the sound and muffle of his building nerves. He could feel his pulse thudding in his jaw. He could hear it in his ears. It sounded like everyone else's heartbeat, he thought. Just like Adam's heart when his head was resting on his chest. Ronan wasn't that different. Well, he could seem not that different. He could move to follow the guy he loved like anyone else. He could live in a city like anyone else. It could work. He just really wants it to work. He just wants to live with his boyfriend. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting too dramatic already, and it's literally page 18. I need to calm down. Okay, so Ronan's dreaming, and it's the first time that he hears Bride's voice in his head. I just want to read a few lines out to you because I just love how Maggie Stiefvater writes. Like, wow. The voice is talking about how at night we used to see stars. And then it ends with, does any part of you still look at the sky and hurt? I love that line. And then, we used to hear the stars too. When people stopped talking, there was silence. Silence is an extinct word. It bothers you, doesn't it? But the dream was perfectly silent, except for the voice. Ronan hadn't thought about how long it had been since he'd experienced perfect silence until that moment. He wasn't sure he had experienced perfect silence before that moment. It was peaceful, not dead. Like putting down a weight he hadn't realised he was carrying. The weight of noise, the weight of everyone else. I love that. I love it. Magic, it's a cheap word now. If you've ever looked into a fire and been unable to look away, it's that. If you've ever looked at the mountains and found you're not breathing, it's that. If you've ever looked at the moon and felt tears in your eyes, it's that. It's the stuff between stars, the space between roots, the thing that makes electricity get up in the morning. That's magic. The way she writes. Excuse me? So Ronan's about to wake up from this dream he's having with Bride's voice in his head. And I just want to read this one line because I actually have it. I might put in a little clip. I have a piece of fan art that's, I'm pretty sure from this, and it's Ronan's eyes. And you can see the night wash coming out and it has this quote written on it. It's such a beautiful piece of fan art. I'm not sure who designed it or who drew it, but I found it on Pinterest. So Ronan's thinking to himself, keep your dreams in your head, prove to Declan you can do it. Bride whispered, you are made of dreams and this world is not for you. Ronan woke up. Okay, so this is the wall above my bed and below one of my bookshelves. So basically it's a wall full of like fan art bits, and then I have a few of my favorite quotes stuck on. And this is the piece that I was talking about. So that's Ronan, and that you can see the night wash coming out of his eyes, and then I love the way the white stuff looks like clouds. And then that's the quote there. Okay, so we're just after being introduced to Jordan. Oh, I find the whole idea of Jordan and Hennessy and all the other girls to be so cool. The fact that Maggie Stiefvater got this idea, like, I remember when Ronan made a copy of himself, and just the fact that she made that into a whole other thing, oh, it's just so cool. Like, I just love all of the Hennessy's, I don't know how you would call it, but all of the girls, and I can't wait to meet the rest of them again, because I don't remember like any of their names, obviously, because I've only read it once. I just wanted to say that I love Hennessy and Jordan. That's it. I'm literally only on page 26 still, so this is taking me quite a while. Oh my god, so Ronan's just after arriving at Cambridge, and basically Ronan and Adam pass by each other in the halls and they don't recognize each other. So they hug, and Ronan thinks, this was as Ronan remembered it. Adam's ribs fit against his ribs just as they had before. His arms wrapped around Adam's narrow frame the same way they had before. His hand still pressed against the back of Ronan's skull the way it always did when they hugged. His voice was missing his accent, but now it sounded properly like him as he murmured into Ronan's skin, "You smell like home." Home. Ronan felt even steadier. It was going to be all right. Stop. I love these kids. I love these kids. Wow. I'm at the part where Ronan meets Adam's friends. And it's so funny because they all just think he's terrifying. Like, oh, but I just want to read this whole paragraph, honestly, because it's Ronan talking about friends and making friends and blah blah blah, and I just think it's written really nicely and I just really like it. So, friends were serious business for Ronan Lynch. He was slow to acquire them, slower to lose them. The list was small, both because secrets made relationships complicated and because friends, for Ronan, were time-consuming. They got all of him. You could not, Ronan thought, give all of yourself away to many people, or there would be nothing left. So there was Burnish Gansey, who might not have saved Ronan's life in high school, but at the very least kept it mostly out of Ronan's reach, so that he could not take it down and break it. There was pocket-sized Blue Sergeant, the psychic's daughter, with her ferocious sense of right and wrong. They'd learned each other so slowly, peeling back layers and only truly figuring each other out just in time for high school to end. There was Adam, and then there were Ronan's brothers. That was it. Ronan could have more casual friends, but he didn't see the point. I just love Ronan, and I love that piece. Okay, so I think I last updated when Adam and Ronan were playing cards with Adam's friends in Harvard. In Harvard? Cambridge? They're the same thing, right? But then Adam and Ronan went up to Adam's room, and then Ronan then asked Adam, like, why are you lying about your father? Because basically he was telling his friends that his father was some saint and he had this great life and everything, and Adam was like, oh, I'm in a new place, like I don't want to be that traitor kid whose dad beats him, like blah blah blah. That's really sad. But Ronan says, I'm looking for apartments, and Adam's like, don't just say that, don't just throw it out, I can't. And then Ronan's like, no, like I have appointments. And then Adam makes like this face, and then Ronan goes, what's the face for? And Adam says, I want it too much. And let me just read out this part. That sentence, Ronan thought, was enough to undo all the bad feeling he might have had meeting Adam's Harvard friends. All bad feeling about looking like a loser. All bad feeling about feeling stuck. All bad feeling ever. Adam Parrish wanted him, and he wanted Adam Parrish. It'll work, Ronan told him. It'll work. I want what they have. Not me about to cry. Oh my God. Hi everyone. I just want to say today is Tuesday and it's about 8 o'clock and I'm about to start reading for the first time today. I'm on page 64, I'm pretty sure. So hopefully things start to pick up and get really exciting and I read more because I've been reading it really slow. Also, Mr. Impossible came out today. I'm gonna read now. I'm on chapter 10 and basically in chapter 8 Ronan was sleeping in Adam's dorm and he woke up and he ended up bringing back loads of like monster nightmare creatures and ruined Adam's dorm. And so now he's walking around and he feels terrible and everything. And I just want to read this little part out because it just shows the development in the relationship between Declan and Ronan. And oh, it just upsets me how upset Ronan is at himself that he doesn't care about saying it to Ronan. Do you get me? So it says, Declan called at some point. I told you to text me in the morning. The rules of this were very simple. Ronan tested his voice, found it wanting, and then tried it again. It worked this time, even though he did not think it sounded particularly like his own. It said to Declan, I ruined his dorm. There was silence, and then Declan said, I'm going to call Adam. And I just think that, one, the fact that Ronan was vulnerable enough to tell Declan is extremely important for their relationship development. But also the way Declan reacts, because it's like, I'm going to call Adam, he says. And usually Declan is the problem solver kind of thing. But when, in the Raven Cycle books, whenever it was like, it needed communication between Ronan and Declan, Gansey was the buffer, and it was Gansey who'd be like, I'm going to call Declan, or I'm going to call Ronan, do you know? I don't know, I just think, maybe I'm just pulling out strings here, but I think that's kind of a reference to the way that Ronan and Declan and Gansey were in the Raven Cycle, and Ronan and Declan's relationship development. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. My baby Ronan. So it's literally only a few lines after I last was talking, and oh, it's so sad. So Adam blamed it on Ronan, and now Ronan's banned from the campus. Ronan says, like, I'll pay for it and everything. And then, oh my god. I'm going to read a few parts out just because I just love the way, I just love loads of this. So, what would he spend money on when he could dream anything he needed? Everything except a life here. Adam turned around. Ronan turned too, and they sat facing each other in the centre of the labyrinth. Adam wiped one tear from Ronan's right eye. He showed the finger to Ronan. It glistened damply with a single tear. Then he reached out and wiped the tear from Ronan's left eye. He showed this finger to Ronan too. It was smeared darkly with black. Night wash. This won't work, Ronan said. This part really hurts my heart. but I just love the way it's written. If I was annotating this copy, I would be highlighting this, and it's definitely going in my quotes book. It felt like sadness was like radiation, like the amount of time between exposures was irrelevant, like you got a badge that eventually got filled up from a lifetime of it, and then it just killed you. Adam Parrish and the Crying Club. And then Adam says, "We're still okay. This isn't about that. Is there any version of you that could come with me to Cambridge? No." And then Adam says this, and oh my god, he loves Ronan so much. They just, wow. So he goes, "Tell me to go to school closer to you and I will," Adam said. In a rush, the words piled together. "Just say it." Ronan pressed the heel of his hand against his eye, checking for night wash, but it wasn't bad yet. "I'm not that big of an asshole." "Oh, you are," Adam said, trying for humour. Failing. Just not about that. The French horn had gone silent, and all that was left was the sound of the city that would slowly kill Ronan if he let it. He stood up. It was over. Oh, I just feel so bad for Ronan. Like, please, give him a break. Ugh.
Start the alcohol.
No.
Alright, okay.
Oh, that's a nice glass.
It's your glass.
This is my cousin Stacey, everyone.
Hello. Cheers. Oh my god.
So I'm on chapter 12, and Declan and Ronan and Matthew are all in Virginia at a national park called Great Falls, and it's Matthew's favorite place. And basically they've come to give like Matthew a little chat, because apparently he's like sitting on the roof and stuff and just zoning out of class and just getting in trouble in school, kind of. Anyway, I just want to read out a few lines that I really, really, really like. "It's a regular carnival," Ronan said, slamming the passenger door. Why shut anything seemed to be his motto, when you can slam it. The Harvard debacle had shoved him deep into a black mood. It was not always easy to tell how bad it was with him, but Declan had become somewhat of a connoisseur of Ronan's moods. Slamming meant the heart was still pumping blood. Silence meant danger mouldered slowly in his veins. Declan had been afraid of the idea of a Ronan who moved to Cambridge. Now he was afraid of a Ronan who couldn't. There were, Declan thought, so many damn things to be afraid of. It's interesting. And I just like that Declan knows. He knows. And then we have like the first time that Tamquam alter Edom is said. It's not the full thing, but it's mentioned. Wow, I love Adam and Ronan, and that's one of my favourite quotes ever. Ronan's phone buzzed. He swept it up at once, which meant it could only be one person. Adam Parrish. For a few minutes, he listened to it very hard, and then, in a very quiet, very small, very un-Ronan voice, he said, "Alter Edom," and hung up. Declan found it all worrisome, but Matthew just asked with breezy curiosity, "Why don't you just say I love you?" I love Matthew. Declan had complicated feelings on the topic of Adam Parrish. There was no way Declan would ever tell a significant other the truth of the Lynch family. It was too dangerous for someone disposable to know. But Adam knew everything, both because he'd been there when certain things had gone down, and because Ronan shared everything with him. So, theoretically, the relationship was a weak link. But Adam Parrish was also cautious, calculating, ambitious, intensely focused on the long game, so therefore a good influence. And one only had to spend a minute with the two of them to see that he was deeply invested in Ronan. So, theoretically, Adam was more positive than negative in the safety department. Unless he left Ronan. Declan didn't know how much complication was too much complication for Adam Parrish. It wasn't like Adam was the most straightforward of people either, even if he was pretending he was at the moment. That's all I wanted to read out. Hi vlog. It is now Wednesday and it's sometime in the evening. I don't know what time it is, but today I actually took the day off school and I was studying all day because I have exams next week. Oh, look at my PJs. Do you like my PJs? They've bananas on them. I haven't gotten a chance to read yet today, but I'm going to really try get a good chunk read tonight. I'm on page 102. I hit the 100 mark. Really enjoying it so far. Obviously, it is only 100 pages in, so not much of the... It's more so like the groundwork that's being made, especially because it's a first book in a series, so all the bones and the foundation has to be built. Oh, I also did my nails. You probably can't really see well, but they were really long, but I was scrubbing myself with them, so I had to file them down, and because I have exams, they need to be a bit shorter, you know, get in the way. But I did read. Oh, matches my top. Okay, I'm actually going to read now.
So I'm on page 134 and Ronan and Declan are at the fairy market and they're just after finding a painting of their mother. And I just really, I've said this before, but I'm really intrigued. I really want to know more about Declan's story. We find out a lot about him in this book, but I'd say in the second book, there's going to be a lot about him more, obviously, because it's, you know, developed. In the Raven cycle, he seems like such a shallow baseline character, but then you figure out all the stuff about him and it's like, oh my god, and it's so interesting to me anyway. So I just want to read out a little bit that made me kind of sad, but I think it just shows a lot about Declan's character. Thinking back to when Aurora fell in her sleep, she was walking around and kept looking in one of the rooms, and so Declan was the only one in the house. Matthew and Ronan were gone on a walk, and it says, Aurora noticed him finally and wafted away from the coats to him. Declan, she said, I was going to walk, I was going to find... He stood motionless and stiff as she hugged him, thoroughly, messily, her face pressed against his hair. He felt her swaying. He felt her heartbeat. Or maybe it was him. Maybe he was swaying. Maybe it was his heart. She might not even have a heart. Dreams didn't have rules like men did. He was going to be alone, he thought. He was going to be alone, and it was going to be just him and that new terrifying Ronan and Matthew whose life depended on him, and somewhere out there was something that killed lynches. The will is in the cedar box in our bedroom closet, she said into his hair. Declan closed his eyes. He whispered, I hate him. My dauntless Declan, Aurora said, and then she slid softly to the floor, the orphan's lynch. I think that's a really interesting part of Declan's backstory, that he was the one who was there when Aurora's life was kind of sucked out of her, because Ronan always describes, and so does Declan, I'm pretty sure, Declan being one of the children who was just kind of left to the side, and like their parents didn't really
love him as much. And I just think it's really interesting that he was the one who was there when she died, not really died, like fell asleep. And that was traumatic for him too. Not in the same way, but in a similar way that Ronan finding Niall was traumatic for him. I just think it's an interesting part of Declan's backstory. So they're still at the market and the fairy market. And they're trying to buy the portrait of Aurora. And I just want to read out this little bit because it really just shows how much of a complex character Declan is. And I know I say that a lot. I really am just so intrigued by his character. So I'm going to read out this little bit. So he makes the deal to buy the portrait and he thinks, "You're really doing this," Declan thought, down the rabbit hole. Beside Declan, Ronan knelt by the painting. His hand hovered over the woman's face, but didn't touch the surface. It wasn't difficult to tell that it meant a lot to him to see Aurora again. Ronan couldn't lie, even with his body language. Somehow, objectively troubling truths about their parents had been unable to mar Ronan's feelings for them. Declan envied him, his love and his grief, both. That's just such, he envied him for both his love and his grief that he had for his parents. And it's just such a real thing when you think about it. Ronan thought of his parents in an unmarred way, so he thought of his parents as these godlike figures, whereas Ronan, being the oldest sibling, the neglected sibling, knew their truths, whether they were good or bad, but he didn't have a idolized, sparkly version of them. And I just find it really interesting and important the way that's described. Okay, so this is only just a little thing I want to say. I forgot that when they're at the fairy market, they see a girl who's identical to Aurora, which makes sense. I'm sure Aurora, the person they saw, is the real Aurora. It's the original version of the dream that Niall Lynch made. But I had forgotten that it happened. So I'm really intrigued to find out who that was, because I don't remember finding that out in this book, because I would have remembered everything about it. I would have remembered that happening if we found out who it was and why she looks like Aurora. But yeah, interesting. Hello. So I honestly can't remember the last time I read and updated this vlog. That is going to change today though. I am planning today, first off, today is Saturday the 22nd, and I am planning on finishing Call Down the Hawk this weekend. That said, yesterday I did go into town and I went book shopping. I'm going to show you the few books I got. I got 6. Very exciting. First off, I'm going to start with Beautiful. I ordered it on last Friday and it came out Tuesday, obviously. So I'm surprised it actually came. I got it yesterday, and I don't know, because I'm in Ireland, it's hard to get things on time. So I'm really glad I have it. But I'm going to have to restrain myself and not read it until my exams are over, which is next Friday, because I just know I won't be able to appreciate it fully if I'm doing exams. So this is the first book I got how beautiful. I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for this, obviously for when I read it first, and I'm going to be on my summer holidays by then, so hopefully I'll be making a lot more content. Gorgeous. It's so short. I did not expect it to be this short. Well, it's short compared to the first book. Like, I had a few ideas before I went into the shop of what I wanted to get. Yeah, I got Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the first book in the Percy Jackson series, because I've never actually read Percy Jackson, and you know, everyone loves it. I've watched the movies and I really like the movies, so this one has a little bit of a, oh my god, there's stickers still on the books. I'm going to take them off while I talk. This series I've wanted to get for a while now because my friends have read them, and also everyone on BookTube like literally raves about them. Yeah, but I wanted to get this certain specific type of paperback edition that had the really nice spines where they like matched up. But when I went to the shop, they had all the other ones but the first one, so it's a bit annoying. But I got the first one in like the movie edition, and then I got the second one in the one I wanted. So this is of course the Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. So it's City of Bones and City of Ashes, the first and second book. And I'm very excited about these. Very, very excited. The last two I got are both they're the third and fourth book in a series I've already started. So I have the first and second book and I read them like 2 years ago or something. But everyone raves about this series. When I first read it, I really liked the first book, and then I liked the second book much more, but I don't know what it was, I just didn't end up getting the next book. But then I heard about everyone on BookTube talking about it, so I was like, I need to try it. So this is the Shatter Me series, and this is the third book, I'm pretty sure. Ignite Me and Restore Me is the fourth book. I thought Restore Me was the third and Ignite Me was the fourth, so I was only just going to get this one. It's so lucky I picked up this one because I would have been very upset. These books are so gorgeous in like the entire series. They're just all so beautiful. Like, wow. Beautiful. That's all of the books I got yesterday. On chapter 34 of Call Down Hawk. So I'm literally just about halfway. Yeah, 210, page 210, so I'm just halfway. And yeah, I really want to finish this weekend, so let's get to reading. Hi vlog. So today's Sunday, and I apologize I didn't update literally at all last night after I recorded that one video showing off my book haul and everything. I did read, I think I said I was on page like 202 or 12 or something, but now I'm on page 278, so chapter 46. I didn't read that much. I think I only read about 3 or 4 chapters, and I didn't come on because there was nothing really important that I wanted to update on. Right now what's happening is Hennessy is dreaming because Night Watch is coming out of her system, so she has to dream, otherwise she'll die. And Ronan is dreaming too, and Bride tells him in his dreams that he has to go and save this girl, that will prove his worth to Bride or whatever. So he saves Hennessy and all the other girls, and now it's kind of like he's dreaming to prove to them that he is a dreamer. That's where I stopped. One thing I just want to say is I love Declan and Jordan. I love them so much. I can't remember, I don't think it goes very far in this book, but I hope there's more of that in Mr. Impossible, because I really do enjoy their little thing they have going on. I am very excited to finish this because I genuinely can't remember what happened in the end. I've remembered most of what's happened so far. A few little bits I've forgotten, obviously, and like I've said, I've forgotten, but I actually don't know what happens at the very end. I can't remember. I'm hoping I can finish this today because I really do need to. I can't remember what time it is, but yeah, that's the plan. I need to finish this today. So we're almost there. We have this one. Okay, that's still a bit of a chunk, but we got this. Much because I feel like I don't really have much to say, but I'm on page 316 now and I just finished chapter 52 on my heart. So Matthew is gone to Great Falls again, and so Declan had to go get him, and Matthew's after figuring out that he's a dream and that he's Ronan's dream creature. And it's just, it hurts my heart because Declan tells Ronan that Matthew found out, and they're sitting in a church and Ronan goes to sit up to talk to Matthew, and he's thinking to himself that he doesn't know what to do. And then Matthew says to him that you're as big a liar as Declan. Oop, okay, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, this is only going to be a short little update, but I'm on page 318 now, and I just want to say something and read it a little bit because it's another example of Maggie Stiefvater's incredibly realistic and relatable writing. Jordan is really angry at Hennessy. Not sure why, but she is. And it says, she was very angry, she thought with some wonder. So this was how Maddox felt all the time. How did she ever get anything done? There wasn't room inside of Jordan for anything else. Miss Maggie does be literally exposing all of us, calling all of us out. Wow. Oh my god. So, I'm on page 373 and Declan's having a conversation with Matthew. I'm sorry, I'm a bit baffled right now. So there was the painting of Aurora that they were buying from the fairy market, and basically in the back of it said More Okora, and all the Lynch brothers recognized the name, but they couldn't remember from where. And it seemed like Declan had wanted this painting for a certain reason, because I don't know if I explained, but Jordan had made a copy of the painting and switched it out. So Declan had a fake one for one of the days, and he cut it open to look to see if there was something in the back of it, because that's why he was searching for it for some reason. He knew that there was something in it, but there was nothing there, obviously, because it was a fake one. And he just went and opened this now. I forgot this happened, but I had a feeling it was, like, I remember thinking about it. Oh, it's crazy. So, they open it up, and Declan goes, this painting isn't of Aurora, it's of More Okora, and she's my mother. That's why Declan was different. That's why Declan wasn't as loved. And Aurora's a copy of More. So how are, like, Ronan and Matthew, obviously Matthew's not a real person, but, like, Ronan, how is Ronan a real boy when his mother's a dream? I'm very confused. And Declan's mother is the original of that dream. Maybe she was a dreamer and she dreamt a copy of herself. No, that wouldn't make sense. I don't think More Okora is addressed for the rest of the book. I don't remember it being. Wow, I'm very excited to finish this now. Okay. I just finished Called in the Hawk. Oh my god! I forgot that that's the way it ended. Oh, I'm so excited to read Mr. Impossible now. I don't even know how to like collect my thoughts. I'm so excited to read Mr. Impossible. Like, I actually can't contain myself right now. I really want to just pick it up and read it right now. I don't really know what to say. Like, I'm so excited to learn more about Jordan and Declan together, and Hennessy and Bride and Ronan working together, and also Adam. Where's Adam? And is he okay? Like, that's the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed, and if you haven't read this book, read it, and read Mr. Impossible. Next video is hopefully going to be a vlog of me reading Mr. Impossible. I hope you liked this video. It was really fun to film, and it was great to read this again. Subscribe if you want.